It's Hack, yeah. We're breaking the mold. Code breakers here, dropping gems of gold. From boardroom plays to cubicle hacks, we crack the code so you don't fall flat.
And I'm the pathfinder, clearing the way, helping you rise up every work day. From first jobs to next level tracks, we teach what works, no fluff, just facts. Hack what, hack, yeah.
Welcome back, Hacksters. This is part 2 of our fireside chat with Uky Chong on Brand U.
Yep, and in part 1, we dug into the everyday micro audition and how to think about your USP, the unique sales proposition. Now we are moving into the hacks you can use this week to build and reboot your brand.
All right, let's get into something really practical here. For someone early in their career, we have a lot of early careers looking, what's one hack they can try this week to start building their brand?
I love that question. So if you're just starting out, my biggest tip is volunteer for a project slightly outside your current lane. Get a little uncomfortable, guys, right? Find a small initiative or a problem adjacent to your role that needs doing. Raise your hand, right? For example, if you're in marketing, maybe volunteer to help the sales team optimize a slide deck. That's awesome, right? Or if you're an engineer, maybe you can assist, in a customer support automation for a month, right? Stepping a bit outside your comfort zone forces you to learn and build new relationships across the company. It also gets you noticed as someone with initiative and breadth.
I love it, Uky, because on my data ring, that is actually the core principle for people that join the data ring is to do the volunteer, like do something different outside the box. And it's like planting seeds in a different part of the garden early.
Exactly.
Right? It might not pay off immediately, but over time, you have got more doors you can open.
Yeah, but here's the catch, though. A lot of hacksters tell us, I don't want to just pile on more work, right? How do you do this without burning out?
The key in everything, right, guys, is to do it in a very smart, manageable way, right? I know that's a very, simple thing to say, right? But it's basically don't just heap on random extra work. This is key as well, right? Propose a small pilot, for example, or an experiment you could handle, on the side of your core duties that is not going to break your time bank, right? Define what a win looks like, a simple success metric or an outcome. In a time frame for this is key. This is very important, okay? And once you've done it, report back, on the outcomes. This brands you early on as someone who's proactive, eager to grow, able to deliver results beyond the job description, right? Even something like posting a brief reflection on LinkedIn about what you learned in the project, it can really start amplifying your brand externally. But the main impact will be inside your team, where I think it matters most too, a lot of times, right? Yeah. Is where people will see you walking the talk.
I love that, walking the talk. That's huge, walking the talk. It's not about doing more, it's about doing something different in a visible, measurable way. Visible.
Such a simple, right? Absolutely. Simple but powerful hack, guys.
Yes. And let's switch gear, Uky, a little bit. What about hacksters who are in the mid-career and feeling stuck and busted? How do they rebrand themselves?
Another great question. I will say there is going to be a common theme somewhat throughout all these career levels, guys, and I'm going to touch on that. But now if you're in mid-career, okay, and you're feeling stuck or pigeonholed, which happens a lot, I get it. The challenge is to rebrand yourself internally. What do you really want to get out of your career, your life, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but one thing you can do is essentially treat it like a mini internal marketing campaign for yourself, right? So here's a quick 3-step approach I recommend. Number 1, audit your recent wins. Over the last, 2 years maybe, okay? Make a list to say, hey, what? These are the 5 significant things that I've accomplished in my role and translate each into the bigger business impact of what that, execution happened, right? Did you save time, for example? Make money, reduce risk? Did you improve a process? Quantify it if you can. For example, cut project delivery time by 30%. This is really crucial as well, being able to quantify numbers. Or improve customer satisfaction by 15%. Or raise, sales forecast pipeline by 50%, right, guys? So this gives you raw material for your new narrative. It's the proof of the value that you already bring.
Love it, love it. So proof over promises, right? You want to have that proof there, be able to show the proof. Sometimes we forget to actually track what we've done, guys, and then we wonder why nobody sees it.
Yeah. So got it, Uky. We documented our wins. So what's next then?
So step 2 is you reframe your own story with a clear promise, right? So you look at those wins and you ask yourself, what's the common theme here? What's the common thread? Use that to craft a new personal headline for yourself, right? Essentially, your USP statement as we discussed, right, guys? So for example, maybe you realized, hey, I'm the person who turns around struggling projects, or I connect silos into synergistic, teams, right? Create a concise statement. I'm the person who blank so that blank happened, right? Okay. That becomes the core of how you start introducing yourself in meetings, or how you start talking about the work you've done moving forward. It's your 30-second elevator rebrand pitch, right?
It. That's very good. And I can see someone even practicing that one-liner right now before the meeting, so it feels more natural.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you've got your story now, right? But how do you make others see it?
Step 3, this is key as well, is proving a high visibility project, right, guys? Bottom line, action is the fastest way to change perception. And I'm going to say, that keyword action / execution, right? I've said it kind of throughout the entire thing. Execute what you're saying that you could do, right? So look for an opportunity in the next 60 to 90 days at work. There's a lot of stuff going on at your company, guys, right? Find something that is going to be visible to the leaders and across the departments, aligned with top priorities. And if those projects don't come to you, try and create one. You're also you know what your department does. Some of the pain points. Identify a pain point everyone's been ignoring and fix it with your manager's blessing. Right? Even a simple visibility sprint works. Okay, solve a nagging issue in a month and send weekly updates to key stakeholders. You'd be surprised, that unwanted email is not going to be unwanted. It's going to be actually processed if they really like it, right, guys?
Yeah.
So by by showcasing this new facet of yourself and really transparently sharing results, you reintroduce yourself to the organization, right? Yeah. So it's an internal PR campaign for brand you. Yeah. And don't forget to refresh your LinkedIn or share your expertise externally. Yeah. So the outside world, right? We live in a digitally connected world.
Yes.
Sees the dynamic evolving you.
That's gold, right? It's not just rebranding; it's reintroducing yourself with proof people can't ignore.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, again, like I kind of jump back into this authenticity point, right? Like so this so since like this is a big theme for us, something you touch on also authenticity. A lot of people struggle with selling themselves without feeling fake, right? How do you stay true to your value?
Well, you just hit it. Authenticity is everything. Don't be fake. Seriously, guys. People will read through it in a second, whether you're trying to sell a product or you're selling an interview yourself, right? Because a personal brand built on fluff, right, or false personas is going to crumble.
Yeah.
They'll fall, break apart. To me, being authentic means your brand matches your values and actions.
What to talk?
You're not pretending to be someone you're not. Again, simple statement, right? I've always been very clear on my core values, right? Like integrity, my whole do what's right motto, mentality, mindset, right? And I let those guide my decisions, whether it's personally or professionally, even if it costs me in the short term. I've walked away from clients because it wasn't right, for example. I've literally turned down deals that could have turned into lucrative opportunities, right? But if it compromises my principles, is it worth it? No. Early in my career, I was offered a partnership, for example, right, that could have fast-tracked my financial goals. Seriously, but the approach involved some really gray area marketing tactics. And I wasn't really comfortable with that, bottom line. So I walked away from it. It's scary to say no, right? It really is, but I'm glad I did because a few months later, a better, more aligned organization reached out to me that fit, what I was looking for.
Yeah, that had to be tough, right? Early in your career
to say no to that.
right, to say no to that. But it says a lot about the kind of brand that you're actually building from day one.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, do you balance promoting yourself with not tipping into arrogance? So honestly, I know I've said this a lot of times today, like the arrogance and like boastful topic, right? But for me personally, that fear of sounding arrogant has actually held me back sometimes. So there were times I probably should have spoken up more about what I do, but I didn't because I don't want to come across like as showing off, right? And that can hold me back in my career.
I say there's a big difference between arrogance and confidence, right, to start with, right? So when it comes to promoting myself, right, the challenge is making sure that confidence doesn't turn into arrogance, right?
Yeah.
So the hack I use is to stick to data and facts. Data and facts. I let numbers and outcomes do a lot of the talking for me. Because that's not going to lie, right? It's not going to lie to yourself either. You can't, give all these numbers to yourself and say, hey, I made $1 million when you only made 10,000, right? For example.
Right.
So instead of saying, hey, I'm great at X, I'm going to say, last quarter my team achieved X result, right? Numbers don't lie again. So presenting tangible results keeps me honest and credible, not just to my team, but to other executives, board members. It does not matter, right?
Yeah.
It also reminds me that I'm backing up my story with real substance and not just hype.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Gary, because a lot of hacksters out there, I'm sure a lot of you are probably in the same boat, right? And Uky, I like how you frame it, right? Is stick to the facts, let the receipts talk for themselves. It feels less bragging, less like bragging, right? But more like just telling your story, right? And people can naturally tell the story with the numbers, as you said.
So now that we talk a lot about the success story that that we can use, so how about the other side, the dark side of it, right? So can we actually leverage our failures, like things that didn't go so well, as part of being authentic? Because I've always believed that stumble often teach more than the wins.
I agree 100% with that, right? I'm a firm believer, guys, is, you could turn any weakness into one of your greatest strengths. Okay, let me start by saying that. So another way I stay genuine is by being transparent about failures, right, or learnings. Know what you did wrong or know the mistake, own the mistake. This is why I always say to my team members, if you did something wrong or you messed up, own your mistake, right?
Okay.
Don't wait till someone calls you out on it, right? It also shows that, you're being human, So when you do this, it shows you're learning, which is key, right? You're not staying static, and you're also sharing a lesson from a stumble that could actually build trust because people know you're not full of ego.
I love that.
Right? Some of the biggest, client relationships I've, grown is where we've had hard conversations, where we've had, debates and arguments, but you show them what you can, you're being real, you own up to the mistakes that might have happened, and that trust level will go up, right? So in networking situations, on the flip side too, is I focus on listening and being genuinely curious about the other person. Seriously, I care about, what they're actually saying and thinking.
Yeah.
So rather than just pitching myself, that takes the pressure off, guys, right, of just performing, and it feels more real because you're asking questions to learn about that other person as well. So in short, I promote what I truly believe I can do and have done. I also try to live by the same ethics, whether someone's watching or not, okay? And that way, I never feel like I have to put on a fake persona or a fake face to impress someone, right? My professional brand is just an extension of who I really am.
Love it. Yeah, that's really good. It's not failure as a weakness, right? It's failure as proof you're real. And that actually makes people trust you more. And I've been saying that on several of the pods that we have. To be genuine to yourself, and people will trust you if you're your authentic self.
Exactly. So earlier you talked a lot about rebranding, mid-career, and even refreshing your LinkedIn profile a couple times with the wins that you have, right? So let's zoom out from that, because in today's world, a lot of selling yourself happens not just in the office, but online.
Right.
And for you, you have a strong LinkedIn presence, and you run a remote team. How do you handle your own virtual presence to reflect your personal brand?
So LinkedIn is definitely a powerful extension of your personal brand, right? It is. I mean, from a business perspective, it is your business Facebook, right, guys, when it really comes down to it. So with so many of us working remotely or in hybrid setups, your digital footprint matters more than ever. Okay, so for me, it starts with the profile itself. I make sure it tells my story clearly, not just job titles, but the value I aim to deliver, right? So my headline mentions both what I do in my doing what's right always type of philosophy. So anyone landing on my profile gets the sense of who I am at one glance.
Okay, all right. So it's less about filling in boxes, right? More about weaving your story through it.
Exactly. I also keep my accomplishments up to date, right? Highlighting the results, not just duties, the results, right? That reinforces the narrative of being results driven and transparent.
What about your post or share? Like, because a lot of people struggle with knowing what worth putting out there. Like, what's your advice there?
That's a great question. I treat posting as an opportunity to provide value and build trust at scale, right? How do you guys do that? You guys educate, right?
Yeah.
You teach, you guide, you coach, right? That's not selling, it's providing great information for people that want it. So, I'm not, posting just to post, so maybe once or twice a week I'll share a case study or a lesson that we learned at ToXPAND or even a failure that taught us something. It's about the insights that reflect, my expertise, our expertise and values, right? Like transparency and ethical marketing.
And you also celebrate other people a lot. I saw your LinkedIn post a lot, right? And you have so is that something that you do intentionally?
Absolutely. I'd rather give shout outs to the team and not get any myself, guys. I'm being, really serious, because giving shout outs to team members or commenting thoughtfully, right, on someone else's post is also another way to be visible online and not make it just about you.
Right.
But it also aligns with, make others look good philosophy, right? You work with others, you're part of a team, you cannot do this stuff by yourself. Share the success.
Yeah. So that's online presence. How about remote work presence? Because out of sight can quickly become out of mind.
That's right. It's happening more and more, right? So you're spot on. So when you're not in a physical office, you have to be more intentional about showing up, right? So me as a leader, right, that means regular check-ins, virtual town halls, for example, weekly company updates, where I'll share wins, what's next. Don't get me wrong, I'm not holding meetings just to have meetings.
Yep.
Okay, this is just key things that everyone at the company should be aware of. So, from there, it keeps the people in the team aligned, right, and visible. So for an individual contributor, even something like a short weekly Slack or email update to your manager, right, saying, hey, here's what I worked on, here's what we achieved, and thank you to X for the help, right, guys?
Yeah.
That can make a huge difference because now you're being proactive on letting your manager know what you're doing to be successful.
Yeah, I love that. Right, simple, visible, but framed as service.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in meetings too, it's like I always advise turning your camera on. Zoom guys, right? I mean, Teams.
Cameras on, Hacksters.
That's a controversial topic.
It is. It is. Because here's the thing: you're in a you're remote. You don't have that face-to-face interaction, right? And when you're sharing ideas or speaking up with ideas and stuff, or trying to back others up, if people don't see your expressions or your gestures and all this stuff, it's really hard to sell your passion.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
And those small things keep you from being just a silent tile too.
Silent tile, guys. So the bottom line is treat your online presence and remote interaction as part of your personal branding strategy, right?
100%. Be deliberate, be consistent, and be authentic. Over time, your online reputation is going to mirror and reinforce the one you're building offline as well.
That's awesome. Uky, this has been incredible insight, practical advice grounded in real experience. So thank you so much for sharing your stories and strategy and experience with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. But before we land it, rapid fire, short answers, Uky.
Ooh, I love that.
Ready?
You ready?
All right, let's go.
One line. How do you own your narrative?
Don't just hope to get noticed. Frame your story so gaps become strengths.
Okay. So serving visibly without bragging. What's the heck?
Make others look good, then close the loop so your role is seen.
All right, best way to show the return on your work.
Always tie impact to numbers. I improve X by Y%. Results sell you.
Love it. One rule for staying authentic, online and offline.
Be consistent with your values. Trust compounds faster than hype, guys.
All right, tight and actionable. One last thing, Uky. If you could go back, what advice would you give your younger self?
It's actually a really great question. There'd be a lot of advice. More than I can give. Oh man, no. So, do what's right always. Learn to tell the story of your work, measure your impact, and keep it transparent. Trust compounds, give it time. If I gave myself that advice and I listened to it back then,
You'll
it
become
would
the
save
president
me.
of United States right
It
now.
would save me years, man. It would save me years.
Yep. So Hacksters, that's your playbook. Whether you're early in your career or looking to rebrand midstream, the goal is the same. Be intentional, be visible, and be authentic.
So Uky, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your personal journey, and this value hacks with us.
Thanks for having me. Seriously, guys, it was great. I love showing that personal branding isn't fluff; it's strategy.
All right, yes, and of course, shout out behind the scenes team, Dominique Aiden, as Da Vinci group here, who make Hack YeA happen every week. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you.
And to our Hackster tuning in, hit that subscribe button and share this pod with another Hackster, please.
All right, you can also find more at hackyeah.com, where you can send us questions, struggles, pain points. We love using those to inspire future episodes.
Yes, and let's keep building this community together. Join us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and search for Hack YeA and you'll find us. And if you are looking to supercharge your business, connect with Uky on LinkedIn or at the ToXPAND.com. So it's ToXPAND.com. We will have his information also on the description.
All right, leave a comment, drop a review, let us know what hacks you're applying. We read everything. It helps keep us making this better, really, for all of us.
Yes, and we're building this movement together, one hack at a time, one career at a time, and one bold move at a time.
Heck
yeah!
Woo!
It's Hack YeA. We're breaking the mold. Code breakers here dropping gems of gold. From boardroom plays to cubicle hacks. We crack the code so you don't fall flat.
And I'm the pathfinder, clearing the way, helping you rise up every work day. From first jobs to next level tracks, we teach what works, no fluff, just facts.